So on day 20, we are on day 20. Um, so as we talked yesterday in the power focus here, we're coming into the second phase, right? We when we started out this whole stack thing in the dark, right? We identified the fact that we're in the dark, and in the dark we've lost vision, we've lost focus, we've lost our way to some degree in our pursuit and what we want, and so that the that phase is basically identifying that you're in the dark and realizing that you are in a drift. Now we talked earlier about the emotions of the of the drift, right? When you start feeling anger, frustration, blame, before you hit the pit, and at at whatever stage you realize that you are in fact in a drift, you want to catch this. And what we talked about yesterday was basically stopping the drift, right? We didn't shift this at all into, it was just a matter of getting the terrain to stop, right? Getting the putting a stop to the drift. But all that did is we're still in a downward focus. We're still looking down, but all we did was stop the momentum of the drift. We didn't actually reverse the drift, which is what we're going to talk about today. All right, so yesterday we talked about the the stopping the drift, but today we're going to talk about accessing the reality, not the reality that was triggered, um, that brought us to a place of emotion and the feelings and the desires and the actions, not that course, not that portion which seemed like which could have been reality had we not realized we were in a drift, which we would do some level of destruction. So again, once we've accessed the reality, in the process, we clarified my desire and what we wanted. Remember, we asked some questions yesterday, and the questions being like, what do we want for me, right? What do I want for them, and what do I want for us? So we actually, when we hit the brakes, we actually um, refocus on the reality so we can actually shift direction, right? Once we get the train to stop, we can stop, we can look around, we can say, okay, here's where I am. We get ourselves oriented, refocus on actually what we really want, and we get to reframe the reality, right? We get to readjust our focus. We get to get oriented to the layout of what we really want, and then in the end, we can actually, once we focus, we can move forward. So again, the steps to this whole thing, once we realize we're in a drift at whatever stage it is, um, hopefully we catch it early in the anger stage, and that's kind of where I've been able to catch it. I've not had to go to the frustration and the blame and the shame, and doing a stack is really a tool to catch that early and refocus it, assess the reality once again, and um, kind of reframe and clarify the desire, like what is our desired outcome. Um, the in part of reframing the reality is we identify the causes of the drift, right? And we eliminate those, and we will. And again, as we talked earlier, we actually stop the drift by we refocus the reality by re re-identifying what we want, right? Again, um, what we want for ourselves, what we want for them, and what we want for a final outcome. So, and um, and then again, obviously, the last step is moving forward. Again, this is similar to like the real, raw, relevant end results, right? Once we get this pattern down that we, it's I guess I related to a vehicle again, right? Once we stop the momentum, whatever momentum, and again, I can't emphasize enough the importance of catching this early, right? For every stage it goes down, it doubles the work, right? If we don't catch it in the anger stage at times two to get it in the frustration stage to get this thing turned around, and times two again in the blame stage. And once we get into the shame stage and actually in the pit, it's 20 times harder to pull this thing out and get it reversed and get the upward momentum again. So I can't emphasize enough the importance of catching it in the anger stage. Again, uh, the stages are really stopping the drift, accessing the reality, um, clarifying the desire and what you really want, uh, reframing the reality, and then once that is done, then you can go ahead and move forward. The assignment, once again, is to teach this and fill out the other items at the bottom of the page, and we'll see you tomorrow on day 20.